Hey guys, how's it going? I'm sorry, Sans. I feel bad now. Hey, cool gamer. So Sans says, I'm not sure I can listen to the next installment of the Mojave Incident. I had to go find UFO shows and documentaries to watch, and now I'm freaked out. That's funny. I feel bad though. All right, now we're on chapter one of this great book. So we're right at the part where it gets good. I'll read the last part actually, so we kind of know what's going on. All right. Hey, Teresa. The excitement, the voice, the dizzying emotions were overwhelming. Without thinking, Tom laid the shotgun on the camper bed at his side as Elise reached for him, drenched with a numbing, racking fear. Tom had lost his will, so unlike him, so outside his realm of experience. He sat still, blindly stroking the side of Elsie's face. I don't know if it's Elsie or Elise. I don't know. I need to pick one and stick with it, though. I'm gonna go with Elise. His eyes fixed upon the two alien beings set as guards before them, then stopped. He heard Elise gasp, then felt his own breathing cease as if the air had been sucked out of his lungs. The brilliant white objects had all landed now, and the sky was chillingly empty of light, devoid entirely of either stars or moon. By the valley, dark and sprawling, corralled by the shadowy outlines of the enormous mountainscapes, was filled, overrun from several feet away to hundreds of yards beyond, with thousands of pairs of red, glowing eyes in the dark around them. That was the last part that we were on. That scared the crap out of me. Um, Elise says they wanted everything we had, everything, our minds, our bodies, even our souls. I think. It was like they drew it out of us with a syringe, every molecule. And it was painful, and I thought we were gonna die, or had already died, and were being tortured in hell. That's creepy. That's my son playing guitar in the background. Hopefully it's not too annoying. So what we were reading, I don't even know what you call this. Just the invasion. All right, we're on chapter one now, technically. What is happening to us? Tom and Elise, anguished, as they stared from out of their camper, out of their camper shell, literally pinching one another as thousands of fierce and threatening pairs of red, glowing eyes surrounded them. I've never heard of aliens having red eyes. This is a first for me. Have you ever heard that, Teresa or Cool Gamer? They've always had black eyes, I thought. Regardless, it's creepy. The sky was moonless, the valley so terrifyingly soundless, and the wind had stopped entirely. Oh, you don't hear it? So it's not annoying? Okay. There was not an insect that chirped, not a donkey bayed. The remnants of French bread and marshmallows they'd left by the campfire were laying there untouched, and any sign of animal life, even the kangaroo rats, was gone as if it had vanished from the face of the earth. Hey, AM. Oh, I'm glad you got a notification, AM, finally. Elise stared out from the back of the camper where the two electric gray beings stood as monitors. I would shit. I would. I could never, ever, ever, like that thing on my screen, if I were to see that, oh yeah, I'd faint. Like that is terrifying. Then to her left and right were through the windows of the camper shell. She watched the eyes move close enough so that the shape of their dwarfish bodies became apparent, like gremlins, no larger than 3 feet in height. with heads the size of a cat's, translucent torso, and then thin limbs. That is such a weird. Ugh. They were 3 feet. Can you imagine these little things? 3 feet, glowing red eyes. Their heads are the size of a cat's, and their torsos are see through. Skinny limbs. The creatures reveled around the camper with boundless energy. Their eyes, fierce and malevolent, pierced the night as a pack of them climbed the branches of a nearby mesquite tree while others tumbled and frolicked like child monsters amid sagebrush and juniper that shrouded the desert wash where they camp. That's terrifying. Yeah, same. Mainly black. I've never heard of glowing white either. It's just always black for me. We're gonna die, Elisa said at last. These were the first words uttered by either of them since they had positioned themselves in the back of the truck. Words seemed so inadequate, they thought then, so incapable of carrying the emotions that they were feeling. Besides, there was something else at work now, something deeper going on. They began to realize as the voice inside their minds anchored itself ever more deeply so that beyond influence, it was exerting control over them. Yeah, this is terrifying. Hey, SD, you didn't scare away? I felt so bad. Yeah, it was you this. No, it wasn't. It was the other one. Sans. My bad. Oh my God. I lost someone because they started watching documentaries and shows and they were reading a lot on these aliens and they got so scared. Now they can't even listen to me read. I'm such an asshole. I'm laughing. Tom's wary eyes scanned the blackened valley, unsure of himself and all that was going on around him. His huge frame quaked as he reached for Elise's hand. Pinch me. What? Pinch me. She did, and he felt it. Am I awake? Yes. Are you seeing what I am? I think so, but explain it to me. She answered numbly. Tell me exactly what you're seeing so we can compare. I don't mean to laugh, but it was so crazy to see those things, right? I gotta do the same thing. He swallowed hard. It was an exercise in sanity. The monitors, grayish blue, like electric images forming and unforming at the foot of the tailgate. She put her trembling arm around him, pressing him tightly to her. Yes, that's what I see. What else? The eyes. Red? Yes. What do they look like? Dwarves? Kind of like monkeys, but evil. I can feel the evil, see it in those eyes. He shook his head in disbelief, attempting to erase the image from his mind, but it was no use. They're playing, he continued, like wild kids running up and around the camper into the wooded area and the brush of the foothills. And in the tree over there, he said, pointing to the right. But they must be weightless? Why? Because the branches, the limbs of the mesquite, even the thinnest ones, are not bending. I know, Elise whispered. I see it too. Tom held her at arm's length suddenly. He looked deep into her eyes, burning with fear. Are we hallucinating? No, I don't think so. Then it's real. They don't even believe it. I don't think I would either. I don't mean to keep laughing, but this is so bizarre, so absurd, unheard of for me, especially. Like, I've heard about aliens and stuff like that. I hate triple threat. And I don't know. This is crazy. It's crazy. I ain't worried about aliens. They're child's play compared to the monsters I can. Yes, you're right. Absolutely right about that. I do plan on doing that stream soon. I think. I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but I think people need to know about it. As real as anything I know, she pledged. Tom, I'm scared. She put his hand over her heart. Can you feel it? My breathing, my heart. I think I'm hyperventilating. Tom's jaw locked. He cast a lethal stare out to the gremlins whose sole purpose seemed to mock their horror. When I get scared, I laugh too. Sometimes it's so stupid and I feel so bad. Or when someone falls and it hurts, like I freaking laugh. I'm an arsehole. I hate that, SD. Don't panic, he told her, a jolt of adrenaline cascading through him. They must want something, and I'm going to find out what it is. He attempted to rise. The monitors rushed forward before Elise could restrain him. Yeah, I'd be shitting. What do you want? He shouted to them. No response. What the hell are you doing to us? We have a right to know, he demanded. We're human beings. We have a right to know. You laugh too? Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Still nothing. Only the monitor's expressionless presence, vigilant, without emotion, and positioned now at the very lip of the tailgate. Tom removed Elise's tempering hand from his shoulder. Sliding forward still further, the beings rushed toward him to an equal degree. Ugh. He reached out to touch the one nearest to him with his right hand. What the hell is wrong with you? Don't do that. Don't do that. He reached out to touch the one nearest to him with his right hand, then recoiled as the burning sensation of an electrical shock ran up from his fingertips through his outstretched arm. This is crazy. Like, there's so much involved here. Sorry, I'm just in awe. The fucking sign. What do you want? Tom was jolted backwards. Elise rushed to his aid. She spoke, her voice suddenly desperate. Please don't do that again. Please don't ever leave me, Tom. Promise. Promise me now. He rubbed the stinging fingers of his right hand. Their eyes met. Elise's face was ashen. He could see the helplessness in her eyes. I won't leave you, Elise. I'll never leave you. He bowed, pulling her closer to him. I love you more than anything, even my own life. Together they held one another, sobbing as the gremlins frolicked with reckless abandon, seemingly stimulated by the wild rhythms of their elevated heartbeats pounding chest against chest. Then Tom's body turned rigid. "What is it?" she asked. "What's wrong?" She looked up at him. He stared over her shoulder wordlessly. His glistening eyes were fixed and dazed. "Are you all right?" she fretted, turning her head to see. It. The spacecraft. Huge. Descending from out of a dense cloud. The object literally capped the valley, then stopped, hovering perhaps 100 yards above the desert floor. The craft was larger than anything they ever imagined could fly, more than a football field in diameter, and shaped like a disc with an elevated dome that rose up from its center. It was encircled by brilliant white lights flashing what appeared to be coordinated, coded rhythms. Hey, Nanan. That would be a miracle, my dear. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my god. They better not get too close. They will end up getting probed. I saw the X-Files movie. I know how these things work. I've saw every episode of the X-Files, and I love that show. This is just uncanny, crazy. Probably none. Together they watched in awe, stunned as the huge craft oh boy, shot a probe perhaps 200 feet in diameter down to the ground, then began transporting objects both into and out of the spacecraft. Into and out of the spacecraft. From the disk's underbelly hung six smaller units, the size of helicopters and designed like miniature versions of the mother craft that suddenly became visible. All of this happening right before their eyes, and it was overwhelming. Do you see it too? Tom asked at last. Yes. The big ship with six others suspended from it? She nodded, her mouth buried in the flesh of his shoulder. The tunnel of light, beaming objects up and down? Again, she nodded. Name the objects. Hi, we are reading the Mojave Incident. It's about alien abduction. It's freaking me the heck out, but I do like it. Not the freaked out part. It's interesting, but this book is really this is friggin' freaking me the hell out actually. Name the objects. They're patterns of things more than actual physical objects. Things like plants and cattle, cactus, and even trees. Anything else? At least pause long enough to observe a pattern of red, amber, and white lights in the form of a triangle. Sorry. from the ship, then breaking loose from it, moving carefully, methodically across the desert basin. She nodded yes. There's a triangle of lights with the tip of the triangle touching down on the ground. It seems to be combing the ground beneath the disk as if searching for something. She shook her head to clear it. Do you hear the rumbling deep inside the ground? The triangle is like a drill, a huge drill of some kind. This is nuts. Tom looked out the horizon, where the inverted triangle would stop momentarily, then continue its methodical search. He stared into the red, amber, and white triangle, his eyes totally unaffected by what would normally be a blinding radiance. The sound, too, that Elise alluded to, could also be heard by him, a low, hydraulic rumble that seemed to reverberate up from the very bowels of the earth. It was then that he became aware of the smell, a rank chemical odor like phosphorus or burning rubber. It was sulfur. Tom decided just before his heart stopped and the words issued forth from his mouth in the lifeless monotone of saturate shock. What else? He asked her. Huh? What else do you see? Jesus, Elisa sobbed. My dear sweet Jesus, she repeated, then broke into prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, please forgive us all of our sins. Take us home and don't let us suffer. Provide for our children who have done no one any harm. Protect them, save them from this evil. She implored, then began crying, for peering into the camper window, totally illuminated, was a third type of being. Oh my God, I would shit. 11:30 p.m. Tom knew immediately that these were the ones responsible for the telepathic messages. They arrived in a group of 9, circling the camper, staring in the windows of its shell-like specters, observing animals at a zoo. Taller than the others. Oh my God, this one's taller than the, I was gonna say zombies, the, gremlins. They stood perhaps 5 feet in height, with enormous raven black eye oh my God, yeah, I keep forgetting there's different ones, right? So he was taller than the others. He was about 5 feet in height, with enormous raven black eyes and long, spindly appendages connected to an underdeveloped torso the size of a 3-year-old child's. What? Try picturing that. What? This is crazy. Elise stared into the face of one of them, if only for a second, but it was long enough to brand a searing image that will stay in her mind forever. It's the children they want, Elise swore with a deadly conviction. It's Thomas they're after? Her son, the baby? Look at them, snarled Tom, his mind tracking in a total different direction. They're scientists, all right, trying to get inside my brain, studying me, observing me, like some kind of bacteria under a microscope. They're holding us hostage now while the others go after him, Elise continued. Tom Jr. is calling out to me in his dreams. I can hear him. What the fuck? Hey, Rhodey. Yeah, the aliens can go. I'm terrified of them. Yeah, they scare the shit out of me. Yeah, you're right, Nanya. So Elise is saying that Tom Jr. is calling out to me in his dreams. I can hear him, but I won't let you have him because I know what it's like to be taken away and treated like some kind of thing. And it hurts, said Elise, sobbing. It hurts so deep and so long that you never forget it. Tom glared out through the camper windows as the illuminated figures continued their grisly parade before them. He remembered his football days at the U of R, his prowess as a hunter, and all that made him who he was, and it angered him to feel so helpless now. To know that their lives and the lives of their children were in danger, and to be so impotent to do anything about it. Their children. So they must be communicating with them like telepathically. I've seen some weird shit in the skies here in my neck of the woods. Lights that appear in the sky that aren't fireflies and don't move like any plane I've ever seen, including my. Yeah, I have too. I think the majority of us have SD, and I don't know, because of that, it's like there has to be something out there. I really truly believe that. I don't want there to be because I'm terrified, but there has to be. There has to be. I was sent some oh, this is burning my legs. Ouch. I was sent a couple videos where um The government was releasing some things about the, sorry, I can't think, I'm scared. Um, oh my God, Area 51, and they were saying it was a weather balloon, and they're lying, outright lying. I know they are. But I was looking at that. I'm gonna have to show you guys because I was sent it, and it was pretty interesting. All right, gotta keep this thing straight. There we go. Damn you bastards, you think you can just hold us against our will? He exploded. We're not animals you can put a cage in and perform experiments on. We're people. People with thoughts and ideas and souls. He sat up straight and confrontational, the blood rushing to his head, his rage mounting. And it was then that it hit him, the flash in his mind. Wham! It was blinding. He reeled backwards. Was he having a stroke? Tom, what is it? Lisa asked, moving toward him. Are you all right? He stared deep into her eyes, weary and frightened. His sense of helplessness was palpable. I don't know. I just feel something. It shot through my head like. But before he could finish, the vision began. Strange, unconnected pieces of his life history and emotions. Fractured, they spun dizzying through his mind like shards of shattered mirror. Tom is in Bulldog Stadium, playing the East West Championship, bathing in the cheers of thousands as teammates give him hugs and high fives after a game winning touchdown. Do you feel it? He asked. Elise paused to gain a sense of what might be happening. No, I don't feel anything. Yeah, they do stop on a dime and then they're all over. Yeah, zigzagging. They're all over the damn place. It's like, that's not normal. They're there 1 second and then that's it. They're gone. It's insane. This book is insane. Tom stands a 7-year-old boy fishing Crestline Lake with his dad and brother. Ron, reeling in not one, but two bass on the same line. What does it feel like? Elise puzzles. What are you feeling now? Tom looked around the camper, disoriented, to Elise, then to the bed cluttered with gear, and finally to the truck windows, brimming with the brilliance of the illuminated figures. Memories. But more than memories, they're feelings. I'm feeling what it was like seeing and doing things, not just remembering. That is crazy how they can do that. How? Let's get it on here. Tom is hunting the high desert with a cater of pals during his senior year of college. They flush the thick brush, finally coming upon a covey of quail. He shivers with delight as the birds take to the sky, the sound of shotguns blasting in his ears. No, not painful, pleasant, mostly, he uttered, stopping mid-sentence. He is a child now, in the living room of his parents' Barstow home, unwrapping presents beneath the tree on Christmas morning. He is a college student, heart aflutter seeing Elise across the quad at U of R for the first time. He's lifting weights at the spa. He's on his knees, proposing to Elise at the top of the tram restaurant in Palm Springs. What's going on? He heard Elise scream, suddenly hysterical. What are they doing to you? Tom is exuberant. Tom is humiliated. Tom is proud and jealous and uproarious with laughter. Tom, Elsie shrieked in the description, but it was no use. In desperation, not description. Tom tried to answer, but he couldn't, nor could he hear Elise's voice finally crying out for him as he stared mesmerized into the face of the aliens. Those fucking faces, so detached and unemotional, seizing him, transporting him to a place where his worst fears and most elusive nightmares crystallized into reality. This is creepy. 15-year-old Tom Gifford looks back toward the orange-red glow of the campfire where his parents sat drinking coffee with Keith's folks, the Hunters. The family had been coming to the lake coming to Lake Mojave ever since he could remember, but this time is different. He knows it though, he can't say why. His high-top keds shuffle through the gritty soil as the adult voices evaporate into the chill night air. He takes a mental accounting of how they got here. 10 miles beyond Searchlight, park the car at North Cottonwood Docks. Check further north 3 miles beyond the foothills to the rocky banks of Lake Mojave. Here they are, same as 1 dozen times before. So why is he suddenly so frightened? Tom shoots a furtive glance at Keith, who is 3 years his junior. He seems unfazed, fishing rod angled over his right shoulder like a shoulder as like a soldier as he walks. You like fishing at night? If you want to catch fish, you got to get them when they're hungry. Tom answers, trying to shake the sudden iciness that begins to take hold of him. There's two times when they're hungry, early in the morning and late at night. Keith nods undoubtedly. The two boys continue down the dirt path, finally emerging at the base of the large flat rock near the lake's edge where they set down their gear. Tom takes a Coleman lantern from out of his knapsack, then lights it as Keith baits his hook. He places the glowing lantern between them. This is a memory. His eyes slowly raising to the stark Nevada mountain range across the lake from 4 miles away. Above them, the full moon is blazing. Off to the left, the eerie glow of the Las Vegas lights reflects like a night fire on the horizon. And it's then that it hits him, the feeling as if they're being watched. So he's been abducted before. Keith casts his line into the water as Tom baits up and does the same. Hey, what are we fishing for anyway? Keith finally asks. Catfish, bass, anything we can catch. The answer comes back. Hooks, baited lines in the water, they lay. Fishing is a matter of patience, Tom explains. Patience and Jesus, you've got one. Keith fumbles the rod between one hand and the other. Tom takes a step toward him to help. Hook it, that's it, he urges as a 3 pound bass breaks water not 15 feet from the shore. He's swallowed the bait, Keith. Now snap the line up. Tom puts his left hand over Keith's quaking grip, helping to steady the rod, when suddenly he feels the hairs on the back of his neck raise. He sees it first in the recesses of his mind, even before his eyes lift to the top of the mountain range. The large, shiny orb stares down at them with the magnetic engagement of a human eye, staring and watching. The size of a basketball. Even from across the lake, it rises up from beyond the mountains, perhaps 500 yards, then sets itself stationary, boldly for anyone to see. But it isn't anymore. Tom realizes immediately it's them. His hands drop to his sides reflexively. The pole jerks from out of Keith's hands, then scrapes a trail along the coarse sandy bank like the fingers of a dying man. The fish, it's getting away, Keith screams. He swings angrily toward Tom, then falls silent. Stunned for the moment, the two boys watch, mesmerized as the blinding white light darts from its position in position due east to one directly due north before their minds can register what their eyes have seen. What was it? The younger boy whispers hoarsely. Tom shudders. I don't know, but it's seen us, man. It's seen us. Look at the way it just hangs there, staring, and listen. Right, AM? Like, this is creeping me out. I'm gonna have nightmares. Keith drifts spellbound toward the edge of the rock. I don't hear nothing. That's right. Not a bird or an insect, not a rat or a coyote. Like the whole world got turned off. Tom studies the brilliant white light. Beside him stands Keith, tumbling mind and soul into the abyss of terror that had been created. I'm scared, Tom. Tom's eyes grew wide. His heart pounds as he begins reeling in his line. Pack your gear. What? Pack your gear now. It's coming toward us, Keith. Jesus Christ, it's coming to get us. So this is his first time this happened. This is insane. Tom snuffs the lantern. They leap down from the huge flat rock, Tom shoving Keith in front of him, looking over his shoulder as they run. From simply moving, the round, shining object seems to turn oblong like an egg, its pulsating white light gaining in intensity as it bolts forward. Freaking be so scared. Run, Tom exhorts. Please, God, please, God. He begs breathlessly. The object is nearly on top of them. Tom pushes at Keith's back. He's puffing, near spastic with fear, when Tom overtakes him, looping his thick arm around his waist, sweeping him up from the ground, but it's a mistake. Coming as close as he does, their legs tangle and both fall face first into the sandy earth. Keith is trembling. Tom feels a thick, choking sensation that leaves him paralyzed, barely able to breathe. Slowly, he cranes his head around, then peers up over his right shoulder as Keith staggers to his feet, running wildly back toward the campsite. Directly above him, the craft hovers, a shaft of white light, probing like a laser down onto him. What is it you want? He whispers hoarsely. What is it you want from me? Tom's body became a shivering mass in Elisa's arm. Okay, now we're out of the memory and we're back with Tom and his wife. Tom's body became a shivering mass in Elisa's arms as tears streamed down the sides of his face. His eyes flashed open momentarily, praying it was all some kind of horrible dream. But it wasn't a dream, not even a nightmare. He looked outside the camper windows, covering his eyes at the sight of the illuminated figures still glaring at him, understanding for the first time in depth of what was happening. More than an object, Tom was convinced the craft He had spied over Woods Mountain was the object, the same he had encountered more than 14 years earlier while vacationing with his parents at Lake Mojave. Don't go to Lake Mojave, any of you. I would never go. Hell no. The realization swept through him like a chilling wind. It seemed impossible, but it must be. It had to be true, for he was living it. For whatever reason, they wanted him to kidnap, to torture, perhaps even kill, and he was absolutely powerless to stop it. 11:35 p.m. A feeling of total helplessness gripped Elise as she stared into the faces of the eliminated figures. Like a computer, an overload. She was taking in too much, viscerally, psychologically, so that she was certain she had crashed through the barriers of a normal tolerance and was now insane. I would feel insane. I'd faint, I would imagine. Scream if I could. Tom, he swung around, the thought of his wife in danger, jarring him back to his senses. She appeared distant, dazed. Her facial expressions were blank. Her eyes glistened. Elise, what is it? Are they inside your head? She said yes. Now we're going back to Elise's memories. Elise is a small girl listening to Haydn's E flat major concerto blaring from their living room sound system, snuggled up to dad on a Sunday morning. Elise, you've got to listen. The visions I told you about, I was wrong. They're not good. You've got to fight them. Got to keep them from gaining control. She is at home. She's at home plate, swinging a bat and hitting the ball in her first Little League game. Mom and dad cheering from the stands as she rounds the bases. Her eyes shot frantically to the enormous spacecraft hovering above, then to the gremlins circling the camper, threatening to overrun it, and finally to the tunnel of light, sucking up entities of every size, shape, and form as the ship's triangular searcher continued scoring the desert. Don't let them take me, Tom. I don't want to leave you. Then don't, he urged, grabbing her at her shoulders, attempting to shake her back to reality. You can control your thoughts. You can control your mind. This is terrifying. Back to the memories. She is an adult in the familiar environs of their local church in Upland, sitting next to her mom, singing with the congregation. She is at a party celebrating her 16th birthday, surrounded by friends and family, blowing out the candles on a cake. Elise began to pray, desperate, certain she and Tom were going to be killed. Back to a memory. She's making love with Tom. She's giving birth to Zoe. She's hearing the news that her boyfriend, Dave Horton, has cancer. Elise pondered her God and faith as a Mormon, begging that the children be allowed to understand that they haven't been deserted, that she loved them now and always would. Back to the memory. She's playing the flute in the college orchestra. She's learning of little Thomas's heart defect. She's shopping the French Riviera with her mom. And then it came, the flash in her mind. Bang. A jolt so persuasive that it swept her away, plunged her into a nightmare of reality from which there was no turning back. Back to the memory. Here, yeah, this is going to be a big memory. Hi, Heavenly Cow. A big memory. Okay. The hospital room is cold, almost glacial, with every chair and table, every object composed of stainless steel or formica. The fluorescent lights above are huge and radiant, devoid of either warmth or comfort, and it makes Elise nervous. She feels Tom's hand on hers, her eyes raised to see him standing over the bed, puffing and blowing, coaching in the style of Lamaze, but she is afraid events have taken them beyond that. Okay, so now she's back in the memory. She's back in the hospital. I'm assuming giving birth. Oh my God, Elise screams, gripping her sheets with both hands. You're doing fine, Elise, Dr. Wallach says calmly. Tom, let's see how we're coming along with this baby. The nurse lifts the sheets covering her legs. Elise feels fingers going back inside her. They already told her the baby is transverse, but she could never imagine this. The pain is excruciating, unrelenting, and after nearly 16 hours of labor, she is uncertain how much more she can take. Please, doctor, please help me. Please do something. Nurse, 50 milligrams of Demerol and 50 milligrams of Phenergen IV. He smiles gently. Don't worry, we'll take care of you, little missy. He soothes. I like it too, Heavenly Cow. Then turning to the doctor, to who Dr. Sublet, neonatologist, contractions are 1 minute apart, but we seem to have stopped dilating at 5 centimeters. 5 centimeters. Dr. Sublett glances in the direction of the S, NST monitor. The Pitocin should be taking effect momentarily, Bob. Let's give it a chance. Right you are, Doctor. Dr. Wallach straightens up, then snaps off his surgical gloves, replacing them with a new sterile pair. He places his hands on Elise's lower abdomen, attempting to reposition the fetus into a crown first position, but it's just not happening. Nurse, any changes in the progress of the labor? Yes, doctor, she answers, gently wiping Elise's forehead with a damp, cool washcloth. She's at 7 centimeters and 75% with contractions still 1 minute apart. Good, very good, says the doctor. Your cervix is almost entirely dilated. Tom, Elise screams. Tom. His expression is distressed as he moves toward her. I love you, Elise, he says, the first thought to cross his mind. Dr. Wallach has positioned himself between her legs. Your baby's ready, Elise, he says, working the fetus in position. Push. She is straining. That's it. Good. Very good, Elise. Push harder now. Go on, Elise. You can do it. She gathers her breath and forces the oxygen down with all of her strength, expanding every muscle in her body. That's it. I've got a shoulder and an arm now. Come on, Elise. Don't stop now. Keep pushing. Moments later, Dr. Wallach pings the soles of the infant's feet with his fingertip. The baby responds with an energetic wail. He clamps and cuts the umbilical cord, then hands the newborn over to the waiting resident. Congratulations, Elise and Tom. You are now the parents of a baby boy. All right, Tom exclaims triumphantly. Tommy Gifford Jr. He kisses Elise on the forehead. The resident physician uses a bulb syringe to suction the child's nose before the nurse joins him to record the APGAR scores. It was 4. But I don't like the sound of his breathing, says the resident physician, casting a worried glance in Dr. Wallach's direction. The obstetrician rushes over to him. They confer. Nurse, get this little guy into neonatal stat. Hours have gone by since Elise plunged into a deep and dreamless slumber. The lights in the hospital room are on, glaring. She opens her eyes. They adjust. Where's my baby? A nurse, the only person in the room, seems nervous. The reaction puts Elise immediately on guard. You just wait here while I get the doctor. She depresses the call button, putting the nurse's station on alert. Where's my baby? Elise asks again, this time more empathetic. The nurse edges toward the door. Now you just stay calm. I'll be right back with the Dr. Wallach. Through the grogginess and headache, Elise hears a baby crying. She fights the drug-induced lethargy, then snuggles out of bed. She slides her feet into slippers and puts on the pink and white housecoat she had brought with her to the hospital as the doctor and the nurse enter. You can't get out of bed, the nurse protests, rushing to her. You're too weak. I can and I will, she answers bravely. Where's my baby? Elise, just relax now and let me fill you in. Dr. Wallach pauses. His voice is soothing. Thomas was born with something known as a ventricular septum defect. Now, it's nothing life-threatening, nothing to be overly concerned about. She gasps. Thomas is in the neonatal unit and being given the very best care possible. I want to see him and I want to see him now. She shuffles toward the door. The nurses move to restrain her, seeing her determination. The doctor raises a palm in the air, signaling let her go as Elise opens the door, then leaves the room. Still confused and disoriented, the effect is dreamlike, but the urge to move toward the cry becomes stronger as she passes a cubby of physicians, seems to float by them. Sad. It's quite sad, she hears one of them comment. A goddamn tragedy is more like it, says another. But she pays no attention, the sound of her baby's cry far more compelling than any conversation. Then there's Tom. Don't you hear him crying? How can you be standing here with Tom Jr. crying like that? She feels like asking, but says nothing as they pass in the long white corridor. They tried, did everything they could, he mutters absently. Is he talking to her? But they were outnumbered. He stares straight ahead at her. There were 5 of them, 5 with gizmos, like he'd never imagined. He shakes his head, confounded at the magnitude of the situation. I'm sorry. Elise is too numb to react. If she can concentrate on only one thing. She tells herself it will likely be the cry, don't worry, Tom Jr., I won't let them hurt you. She promises, still pressing forward, steadily, 1 foot at a time. When she encounters Wolfie and Carol sitting in a waiting room outside the operating room, Wolfie looks to her plaintively, eyes brimming as she passes. We did everything we could, baby, everything. There was just no way to know it would turn out like this. And they have their ways, believe me. They have their ways. Elise moves forward. The infant's cry, like a hook planted firmly in her brain, pulling and drawing her toward it. We love you, darling, Carol calls out after her. No matter what, we love you. And you know they'll adjust. Kids always do. Elise doesn't react, can't. Instead, she gravitates toward a set of the panel doors. Above them, in bright red block letters read the words operating room. She enters, her eyes blur momentarily as she attempts to focus. Positioned midway across from her in the chamber is an operating table. A large circular light hangs above it from is beneath the light that the cry emanates. Perplexed by what she sees, she must have walked in during the middle of an operation. She's thinking because surrounding the table are four physicians. They turn as she enters, and she sees that the cries come not from an infant, but from Tom Jr., their 3-year-old. He sits up, his chest cavity is open, wow, with a preliminary clamp attached to his circumflex artery and a catheter fixed to his left atrium. Atrium, sorry. An IV unit Unit meters plasma into his right arm as blood pumps freely from an open artery leading to his superior vena cava. Why did you leave me, mommy? He asked, staring straight at. Oh my God, these aliens are messing with her. Why did you leave me, mommy? He asked, staring straight ahead at her. You left me alone and have taken me with them. No, no, it's not true. I would never leave you, she pledges. Never ever leave you. Son of a bitch. She rushes toward him, then stops dead in her tracks. Slowly, her hand raises to her mouth, overcome by the horror of what she's seeing. These are no doctors, she realizes as the sulfurous odor permeates the air around her and the eyes become more prominent. It is them. Mommy, mommy, Tom Jr. shrieks. The life issuing from him as the alien's chilling stares bear down more forcefully upon her. They've taken me, used me for experience. No, Elise screams, twisting and turning to break from their grip. No, no, no. But it was not the creatures who held her now. It was Tom. They were in the camper again, and they were surrounded, held captive, as the illuminated figures turned the world inside out. So that's how they get you? They fuck with your head. Not only can they talk to you in your head, they make you see things that aren't there. They make you do things that you would normally do. Wow. It's not only scary, this is sick. At first, Elise thought she had gone insane or that she and Tom had died and were being tortured in hell. Whatever the explanation, she was made to feel a sense of loss so devastating that she wasn't sure she could go on living. Elise was coming apart. They were coming apart. Tom had the presence of mind to realize her entire body was quaking, and so was his. Their hearts were pounding erratically, and their body temperatures fluctuated wildly, elevating in a smothering welter that stole the breath from their lungs one moment, shivering uncontrollably with chills that cut through them like the cold steel of a razor the next. Psychology was no better. Neither seemed capable of coherent logic. Sentences were becoming difficult, and during some intervals, impossible to put together. Their mental state was predicted now not upon physical input, interpreted and processed, but on emotions and reactions already processed, then implanted into their minds, one after another, until they could bear no more. I'm doing pretty good. I hope you are too, Heavenly. Elise looked to him, her face sallow and bloodless. She was having difficulty, grave difficulty breathing. "I don't think I'm gonna make it, Tom," she confessed, in an ardent voice. "I can't breathe. It's like there's no air and I'm suffocating and about to die." The streams of tears made their way down her cheeks. Tom kissed them. "I feel it too," he uttered weakly. "Let's decide now that if we die," he gasped, "and if we can, we'll stay together forever." Oh my gosh. She nodded. He looked at a final time to their captors, himself on the verge of collapse. So it's like they're suffocating these people, tricking them. This is sick. It's awful. Shit. Don't worry. She nodded. He looked a final time to their captors, himself on the verge of collapse, like scientists who had just dissected a laboratory animal. The illuminated figures, observed totally removed, totally detached, not a sign of emotion or pity could be discerned. No remorse, not even curiosity. I was just gonna say that, but I figured I'm gonna shut up because he'd probably call me crazy, but I was just gonna say that. Yep. They're allowing it in their own laboratories on Earth, yeah. The stench of sulfur hung in the air. A vague sensation of nausea passed through their minds as they felt themselves slipping away into unconsciousness. But it was not the dark numbness of death that followed. Rather, there came a feeling, subtle at first, that hinted they were still alive as a pervasive chill entered the camper and began to revive them. The vapor rolled into the shell from behind the monitors like a frothy mist, easing both their physical and psychological anguish. Within seconds, their pattern of breathing began to alter as each felt a pressing weight on their chest that regulated their intake of oxygen. It was controlled now. I'm like, shit, that means they're going to operate on them, right? They got a breathing tube in. But beyond their influence, as if the creatures knew they were dying and wanted to keep them alive. But why? For what purpose? I definitely agree with that. I absolutely think that they're involved. I feel like what SD said, um, that they're allowed to observe us and take us. I wouldn't wish this on anybody. This is horrific. Chapter 2. Mojave Campsite, October 22nd, 1989 at 12:15 a.m. The chilling mist that had entered and filled the camper slowly receded, leaving both Tom and Elise psychologically ravaged. What happened? Tom asked, just now coming to his senses. Where were we? Oh shit, they already got abducted, maybe? Yeah, I was thinking that too. Elise did not attempt to answer, but turned from the camper windows, physically revolted. For God's sake, pull the curtains closed. He stared at her. The curtains, Tom, she repeated, deflecting the creature's radiance with her hands. I just don't want to see them. Tom pulled them shut forcefully. It did no good. Their bodies, their eyes of illuminated figures, shone through the flimsy nylon, as prominent as ever. He held her. What are they going to do to us, Elise? So they're still in the goddamn camper? She shook her head at the incomprehensibility of it all. That's a good word, incomprehensibility. Yeah, I agree. Because this is effed up. Donuts are great. I don't understand, but I know it has something to do with Thomas. It was like a dream, but absolutely real. I was there in the hospital with him, and it was horrible. Worse than an operation. It was like some kind of experiment, some kind of dissection. Elise began weeping, tiny anguished cries at first, followed by prolonged sobs that rose up from the very depths of her being. They want him, Tom. They want our son. I don't know why. Can't imagine. Can't believe they'd want to hurt him. He's innocent. She pled in desperation. He's never done anything to anyone, so why? Why would they want to do that to him? It's all right. It's going to be all right, Tom comforted, his eyes raising to the creatures outside the camper once more. Mine wasn't about Thomas, he said slowly. It was about me and them. I never told you, never told anyone because I figured you'd think I was crazy. But when I was a kid, 14 years ago, I went fishing with a friend at Lake Mojave. It was night. My folks were at a campsite about a quarter mile away when we spotted a bright light over the lake. Wasn't hard to spot, hovering over the mountain range and clear as it was that night, and it followed us. Chased both Keith and me until neither of us could run away any farther. I remember we both fell to the ground. I stayed right there in the dirt, paralyzed, unable to move a muscle while Keith got up and ran away. Then it just floated above me. Without a sound, the UFO just hovered over me, shining this light. A white light, so bright I'll never forget it, but you could stare right into it without blinking, without it hurting your eyes at all. Tom glanced to Elise, the years suddenly peeling away to reveal that same terrified adolescent more vulnerable than she had ever seen him. I don't know what happened after that, but early in the next morning, I found myself back at that campsite. Keith was asleep, so I didn't wake him. But hours later, when he awakened, he didn't remember a thing. Not the sighting, or even us running from it like we did. Nothing. So I buried it, a secret I've never told anyone until now, until a moment ago when the entire experience came tumbling back out of my head like it was happening all over again. He let out a loose sob, then caught himself. And they've been waiting for me ever since, Elise. I believe that, though I don't know why. He confided, tears suddenly streaming down the sides of his face. I believe they saw me then and have come back for me and you and our kids now after all these years. But I can't understand what the hell they want. Elisa's face was buried in his chest. She spoke without looking to him. It's our reactions. What? It's our reactions they want. They don't have emotions like us. They're putting us through this to try to understand how we think and what we feel. How do you know that? I don't know, but I do. Tom looked down at her, trembling in his arms. The tears began to dry on his face. So they're doing this to terrify them, to see their emotions, how they act, because they don't have emotions like us. That's a really effed up way. Wow. Aw. I'm thinking they did because this book was out. This book is out, so they were able to tell their story. Oh my gosh, this is really bad. It is a miracle plant. If it happens again, we've got to resist. I don't think I can make it through much more of this. It's too much. Like they're R-ing our minds. They'll R us to death if we let them. What the shit? This is wow. That's the first time I've ever heard of them, R-A-P-E, them. Elise collected herself. I don't think we can, Tom. They're too strong. We've got to try. Maybe that's what they want. Then fuck them. He screamed in exasperation. He shot a glance beyond the illuminated figures to the carnival activity beyond there where the gremlins lingered. Passive now. And the triangular searcher continued its canvassing of the desert basin, the gigantic mothership hovering above. He reined in his emotions. Elise shook her head in the negative. They're neutral, not capable of feeling emotions as we know them. That's what this is all about, Tom. What? Transformation? That's a good question. AM. I'm gonna write that down. What is it about, SD? Alien abduction? Almost. I'm writing it down because I forget everything. I'm awesome like that. Hey, Victoria. No worries. Isn't this scary as hell? I don't know. I've heard of abductions and I've read a lot of things, but this couple, I'm actually terrified. Wish this had some pot in it. Oh, I missed a word. Creepy as hell. All right. Where was I? So that's what this is all about. Like the alien abductions you read about in the papers, they want information about us. Who knows what kind or for what reasons. Only this time it isn't a farmer in some cornfield in Nebraska. It's us. Oh my God, that would be horrific. I could would imagine. She's an MK Ultra survivor. Okay. What's it by? Kathy O'Brien. That would be interesting, but scary, I would imagine. An unconscious shiver passed through Tom as he realized for the first time that he and Elise were indeed at the mercy of these beings, and that abduction, even physical experimentation, on board the craft was a real possibility. Okay, so they are still in this camper. That's who wrote the book, Nun Nun. Smarty ass pantsy pants. See? He's got a lot of good books out there. I would love to get more. That's why I love having you here. You know everything. I'm just curious, when they were bringing up the son being born, what they did to them all, did the baby get affected? So strange. Yeah, so the baby has a birth defect. I remember reading that at the beginning. It's a hard read. Okay. I love Gaia. I signed up to them for a free month. Everything. Oh my God, I love it. I've only seen it on YouTube and I signed up to everything. Yeah. You do know everything. That's why it's good to have you here all the time. An unconscious shiver passed through Tom. I just read that, didn't I? And that thing out there, the triangle, he said uneasily, what do you suppose it's searching for? Elise forced herself to peek. She spoke timid. Maybe it has something to do with the sound and the smell. Yeah, what is, I've never heard the smell before. Have you guys? Like the putrid sulfur smell? I never heard that associated with abductions or aliens ever. He listened to the grinding, boring noise that seemed to emanate from deep inside the earth beneath the truck and the desert wash around them. The smell, too, seemed to be gaining in intensity so that their nostrils and lungs burned with the pungent, acrid smell of molten sulfur. Yeah, never about a smell either. It's possible I told you about the rare earths minced around here by the Alumax and other conglomerates. Could it be they're searching for minerals? Mining exotic elements to refuel their craft or bring back with them? I never heard of that either. That's a good question. Conglomerates, sorry. So Alumax and other conglomerates. Could it be they're searching for minerals, mining exotic elements to refuel their craft or bring back with them? Is it to throw off the senses we have so you focus on the smell, not what they are doing? That could be, yeah. I don't know. She recoiled at the sight of the shimmering creatures, then forced herself to study their appearance. Near as tall as she, they stood staring in the camper windows. Ah, I would freak out. That's true, Nanan. No, it's not Victoria. I don't, this is the first time I've ever heard of it. That's a sign of demonic activity. Yes, it's a sign of a demonic activity. I wonder if it's intertwined, related or something. Hey, Two Skulls. I haven't seen you in forever, girl. How's it going? So they stood staring in the camper windows, faces devoid of either lips or teeth, with a slit for a mouth and two open holes for a nose, punctuating their large, oversized head with skin so white it actually glowed. Yeah, so just like this thing on my that we're looking at right now. That's your theory, really? You might be onto something. You never know anymore, right? But it was their eyes that most frightened her. Large, dark, piercing eyes without iris or cornea. They seemed to bulge like an insect's, then narrow into a vortex of chilling emptiness. Intense and totally lacking any semblance of human emotion. It could be a way station, said Elise, the idea suddenly popping into her mind. I don't understand. The probe from the mothercraft, do you see it? He nodded. A zircon tunnel of light, perhaps 100 feet in diameter, and extended from the belly of the huge spacecraft, stirring the dust and cactuses below like a windless tornado, sucking objects up into the crack while even while others were transported down, as if it scanned the desert basin below. Don't ask me why, but I feel like it might have something to do with souls. The frick? Souls. Yeah. The souls of humans coming and going to and from Earth as they are born and die. You might be onto something. What the hell is this shit? What is your neighbor doing up there? Yeah, I am. SD, you might be right. This is insane. I read somewhere the mystics believe there are special places where the physical and spiritual planes of existence meet. Maybe this place is like that, a kind of way station where souls pass from one world into the next. I don't know why it's known for alien abduction. I have no idea. Like Mojave. It is scary. Holy shit, Nun. Wow. And what does that make them? Tom asked, gesturing outside the camper. Gods? Something like gods, I suppose. Messengers or servants from heaven or another place we can't even imagine. Tom ruminated. He cast a lethal stare outside, his eyes riveted upon the creatures. These are no gods, he spat out. Though they'd like us to think they are, no god could ever treat people this way. But aliens, travelers from another galaxy or another time, might be curious and cruel enough to put people through this. But why us? Elise anguished. Why put us through this? We're nobody special. We've never done anything that could vaguely interest aliens or anything else like that. Tom turned to Elsie, the theory taking shape in his mind as he spoke. Okay, let's say that you're right. That these are travelers from someplace else, outer space, heaven, another dimension, someplace we can't even begin to fathom. But let's also suppose that I'm right and they miscalculated on a voyage between here and wherever they came from and ran out of fuel. So they come here to the Mojave to dredge up whatever minerals they need to continue, but stumble upon us. Their first reaction might be to leave, then return once we've left, or even to kill us if their situation is desperate. But then they recognize me from an encounter years earlier and figure, what the hell? We've got to do this mining operation anyway, so let's see what happened since. How he's developed, what his mate is like, exactly what makes these humans tick. Sort of a side benefit, additional research while they're there. That's possible, ain't it? Elise considered the words for a drawn moment, then gasped. Tom, there was more about the gods. I mean, I just remembered where I saw it. Where? You ever heard of the petroglyphs? Sure, Indian paintings. There are 100 of them all through the caves around here. Oh, wow. Most people say they were painted by the Paiutes 5, maybe 600 years ago. Well, yeah, I read about them in a book called Mystic Places I got from the library last summer. It said that the local Indians considered this part of the desert sacred, a place where the deities came to show themselves to tribal priests. Talked about petroglyphs all right, but said that most famous wasn't in a cave. It's right here in the California Arizona desert near Fort Mojave. Scientists call them the Mojave twins. Oh my God, is this by the Skinwalker Ranch? Is this the Skinwalker Ranch? It's right here in the California, Arizona. desert near Fort Mojave. Scientists call them the Mojave Twins, a huge ground drawing that can only be recognized from planes passing high over the desert. Elise paused to try to comprehend the scope of what she was saying. And do you know what they look like? She pointed to the curtains, saturate with the image of the illuminated figures parading around the camper. They look like them, Tom. I swear to God, the Mojave twins look like those things out there. The sh. Yes, that's true too. All ancient cultures talk about their gods coming from the heavens and what would be UFOs to us today. There's more to my theory, too much to type here. You're gonna have to give me. I was just gonna say you're gonna have to email me. Deserted areas. Yeah, exactly. I remember that was in them too, Nun Nun, yeah. Why are aliens interested in studying humans when they are superior in intelligence and technology? I don't know. I guess they're void of any emotion whatsoever. So they're trying to learn from us, but why? So they can take over and be like us without us knowing? I could just answered my own question. It's bad enough to go camping and worry about what's in the woods or who's watching, much less this. Yeah. Petroglyphs are images that are carved into rocks, with hieroglyphics are a complex Egyptian. Yeah, that one's Egyptian. I knew that. But petroglyphs are images that are carved into rocks. And the hieroglyphs are a complex Egyptian writing system that uses picture signs as writing characters. Petroglyphs existed in many cultures. Do you think they're curious? I think they're assholes. And yeah, we're lab rats. After reading this and hearing many, many stories, this is sick. Now we're at 1:05 a.m. The air around them crackled with electricity. And all this time, they're still inside this camper. Some of it external. So, sorry, the air around them crackled with electricity. Some of it external, but much of it from the inside, like some hidden self deep within was being fed by or was feeding the creatures outside. Elise struggled with the notion of what these beings were, where they came from, and all that was going on around them. Tom, this can't be real. What else is it? He asked, nonplussed. What else can it be? It would make sense that they lack humanity. You think so? I guess we all aren't the same, right? Elise was about to respond, but stopped as if suddenly distracted. She felt the telepathic force like a tug at the edge of her consciousness, subtle at first like a fisherman's bob on the water, nibbled far below, if only for a fleeting moment. Still, the feeling registered. It was there. Tom saw it immediately in her eyes and the way her body was positioned. Rigid, if only for an instant. What's wrong? It's beginning. What? Them. I just felt it in my mind, but only a little. Are you all right? No, she answered, the dread returning. I'm not all right. She began to shake violently as Tom held her tightly, shooting glances to the curtains through which the eyes shone. The illuminated figures stood still now, dug in, and Elise was being pulled inexorably away back to the hellish roller coaster of moments before. Resist, Tom urged. So that's what they're doing. They're freaking them out with their own memories, but making it worse. Think of it this way: we have advanced in technology today. We are constantly looking for new ways. I think aliens are looking to see what we know and how far advanced we have become to keep tab. Yeah, that makes, I agree with you. Absolutely. Here's another memory for Elise. It is January 18th, 1986, and Elise is in church dressed in a full princess gown. The priest stand before her. Tom and his brother Ron, the best man, nervously watch as she says, I do. Tom kissing her even before he is asked. Tom, I can't. She's a little girl, quietly listening as her mother reads a passage from the Bible. They're playing with you, Elise, playing with your mind. She's in her senior year of college at an Alpha Stigma Pi sorority party flirting with one of the boys from Pi Chi. I can't, they won't let me go. She's 7 years old now, sitting in the driver's seat, ringing the bell on her dad's fire engine. You've got to concentrate, Elise, you've got to try. Elsie is dancing with Kurt Hoyas at her high school senior prom. She is empathetic as she makes a point during a high school debating competition. She's singing Christmas carols now around the tree with her brother Glenn and his newborn baby. She's running the 440 relay on the track team at Upland High. Tom, they're taking me from you. Hold me, Tom. Please don't let me go. Elise is joyous. Elise is saddened. Elise is exhilarated and angry and seething with passion. Then all emotions drained, suddenly as if a plug had been pulled somewhere and the feelings were leaving, replaced by something else. That could be how we had beings like the centaurs and the mermaids and other mythological creatures in folklore. They're hybrids. Holy shit. Good point. This book is creepy as hell. So it was replaced by something else. It's an ugly, hideous thing, this sensation, that memory, which he never talked about. Oh, God. Only in dreams did it emerge, a sordid plague of a feeling, but it wasn't a memory. It was all ghoulishly real. Again, she agonized, spinning mind and soul into the deep and ominous grottos of her darkest childhood remembrance. Elise loves to skip rope. Now we're back in the memory, especially in the schoolyard next to her house. And she's good at it. Best in the whole third grade. Even Laura, her younger sister, says so. Of course, Laura, being only 7 and a whole year younger, thinks everything Elise does is great. It's nice to have a younger sister, Elise is thinking as Laura and Megan sing out the teddy bear, turn around. Teddy bear, touch the ground. Teddy bear, show your shoe. Teddy bear, that will do. I forgot about that one. Elise touches the ground, singing the words along with them, but still doesn't miss as her eyes divert to the man who oh, please don't be something bad. It's Elise touches the ground, singing the words along with them, but still doesn't miss as her eyes divert to the man who shuffles toward them out from behind the school gym. He's skinny with a mustache. His black hair is combed straight back, kind of funny because there isn't much of it. He's staring at her. He has seen her before. He tries to remember. Maybe, but she looks different, now dressed in blue jeans and a denim work shirt. She smiles, but he doesn't smile back, just stares as she skips, loudly singing the words, showing off maybe a little. Teddy bear, go upstairs. Teddy bear, say your prayers. Teddy bear, switch off the light, and teddy bear, say goodnight. Elise jumps as high as she can. The man is near her now. Her feet just don't work when she's looking at him. She knew that. It was stupid. You missed, Megan cries out, the rope tangling between Elise's legs. You never miss, not that one, Laura protests. Elise untangles herself from the rope, smiles to the man who watches, embarrassed. You're a good rope skipper, ain't you? She nods. Can I show you something? He holds a pair of eyeglasses out in his palm for her to see. All three girls move closer to him, but it's to Elise that he's talking. Oh, please don't be what I think this is. I lost a lens. Can you imagine the trouble I'll be in if my wife, ugh, finds out they're broken? That's too bad. Oh, it is. It is. They were a gift, and besides, he says, squinting, I can't see too good without them. Again, Elise puzzles. Where's the last place you remember having it? Chimes little sister Laura. That's what my mom says. Think back, and that's where you'll find what you're looking for. The stranger glances her way, smiles a chilling smile, then looks back to Elise. It was over there, near those big trees in the back that had lost it, he points. Will you help me find my lens, Elise? That's your name, isn't it? She nods. No, me neither, Rusty. I know that because I'm a friend of your dad's. We know each other very well. She stares, he continues. And I know your dad would want you to help me because I can't seem to find them. Not with my glasses broke like this. She thinks a moment, looks at her sister, Laura. Okay, she answers, I'll help. No. The stranger turns to the two others. Now you can stay here and play while she comes to help, he says in a firm, angry voice. They walk. Where are we going? Elise asks in a small voice. Not far. Back there. He says, pointing again, back to the last place I had it. Elise says nothing more, just follows. She's confused. Is this man a stranger? She knows she has seen him before, but if he's a stranger, well, mom and dad always told her never to be with strangers, but he needs her help. And wasn't she supposed to help people? They stop. Elise looks around. She feels a funny, tight sensation in her stomach. The schoolyard is out of sight now, just trees and rocks and dirt. He looks down to her, smiling, but it's not a happy smile. Do you know I can hurt you? Why would you want to hurt me? I didn't say I would hurt you. I said I could hurt you. Feel. He pinches her hand in his chest, in that spot where her breasts are. His eyes widen. Her eyes widen with pain. I want to go home. No, he says, staring at her, brazen now. You've been a bad girl, and I'm going to have to punish you. Elise stands alone, all alone, unable to think, crying. He approaches, then throws her to the ground. I won't read this if I'm pretty sure I know where it's going. She tries to scream, but he covers her mouth, wrestling on top of her, unbuttoning her shorts, then jerking them down with both hands. Oh, you fuck. I didn't know this was going to be like this. I do. Ah. What? Okay, hold on. Maybe it's not as bad. She can't breathe. He's smothering her with his long, bony body. She feels his hot breath on her. His chest is heaving as his chest is heaving as he grunts like an animal. So terrible. She's burning on fire. Sick deep in her stomach. She feels his anger. It permeates through her. Why do you hate me? Why do you hate everyone so much? Then she remembers the walk, the mustache and black combed back hair. I know who you are, she shrieks with her last conscious breath. The stranger stops. Suddenly he struggles to his feet, then looks down at her very angry. 10 seconds is what you get, he growls, tightening his belt as he speaks. 10 seconds, and if I catch you, you'll be dead. Elise rises slowly, never taking her eyes from him. She is crying as she pulls her panties and shorts back up, then runs and runs out of the woods, back into the schoolyard in time to see her father, John, and two brothers, Glenn and Doug, jump up over the 6-foot fence that separates their yard from the playground. It was Laura. She is thinking from out of the fog of shock and confusion. Her sister Laura, who went and got them. The sound of police sirens cut through the hot stillness of the California days as her dad gathers her in her arms. He holds her close to him, comforting her, sheltering his young daughter from the world around her and the horror of what has happened. He said he was our friend, your friend, but he hurt me. Oh my God, he did. She's emptying her soul of the pain and shame and humiliation. Oh, daddy, daddy. Um, Now we're back to reality. Elise leaped from out of Tom's arms, her clothes drenched in sweat, frantic at what she had been through. Sorry, guys. Anger, confusion, a sense of violation so profound it left the air around her vibrating. What kind of person would do that? Not only to a little girl, but why would the aliens want to make you remember something so disgusting? What the fuck? I'm not understanding that. That's disgusting. Speechless, she glared through the curtains, her body immersed in the light as her tormentors continued their soundless procession around the camper. The feelings she was now enduring were identical to those immediately following the RAPE, and it was numbing. Tumult of emotions that raging through her heart and mind left her psychologically ruined. What had they done to her? Why had they taken, if not everything she possessed, everything that made her who she was? Who are you? She shrieked out at them. What kind of things are you? Do you know what you are doing? Do you know what you are doing? she repeated, the procession stopping to observe her breaking down before them. It was then that she felt Tom's hand on her shoulder. An odd, wordless gesture, she thought then, harrowing in its way, so light and yet, at the same time, significant, the touch of a stranger. She turned slowly. What do you want? She stammered. Her husband's eyes were clear, but his expression was fixed and unnatural. He knelt before her in the center of the camper and what the fuck? Okay, this I thought this was gonna be all about aliens. What the hell? So he knelt before her and this isn't a memory. This is like right now. He knelt before her in the center of the camper, an erection bulging in his jeans. I want to make love to you. What the shit? Elise moved away from him further toward the windows. He edged yet closer. What are you saying? He smiled slyly. I want you to forget about everything that's happening outside and lay down with me on the cot. So what? They're in his head now too? That is sick. This is sick. This is fucked up. Elise scrutinized his face in an instant, like a snapshot. The expression registered cold and scary, suddenly transposed with the face of her childhood attacker. My God, this can't be happening. Her brain was pounding. It can't be happening. Can't be. Lisa's eyes flashed to the outside where the red-eyed gremlins, previously passive, began once again to rebel around the truck. Tom, this isn't you, she muttered, wiping the tears from her cheeks and the side of her hand. You can't mean what you're saying. He paused. Stay away from me, she threatened, images of her what happened in her mind. He moved on his knees sidelong towards her. I need you, Elise. I need you now. Outside, the gremlins, swarmed eyes glow, agitated like she had never seen them. I'm warning you. He reached for her. She fended him off. The thought of her son in mortal danger, of the mental torture she had endured, of the insanity that undermined every thought that came into her head, and now this abomination sparked a pent-up outrage that burst from Elise like an explosion. You bastard, she howled, back against the camper wall, literally fighting for her life as she scratched and clawed to free herself. Good for you, girl. Don't you see what's going on? She clutched the front of his shirt with both hands. Look outside, she shouted, pulling the curtains fully open, unveiling the smaller beings, faces pressed flat against the windows. Do you see them? Do you see the hell we're living in? She shook him violently. Our son's life is in danger. He may have been kidnapped, killed for all we know, and you have the balls to satisfy your selfish urges? Elisa's tirade halted abruptly. His eyes grew wide. She gasped for air, but seemed unable to catch her breath. Elise, Tom's expression softened. He looked to her himself, horrified at what was happening. Are you okay? Her hands fell to her sides. He reached for her. Elise clutched her heart, collapsing back against the camper wall. Breathe. Please breathe, prayed, as the chilling mist began rolling slowly into the camper. Her face was white as the sheet, her body was limp. I didn't mean what I said, Elise. It was wrong of me. I knew what you'd gone through, and I said it anyway, but it wasn't me. Do you understand that? It wasn't me that thought or said any of those things. The dense mist emanating from the illuminated figures outside the camper sent tingles through each of them. It soothed Elise, calmed her so that within moments she was breathing normally, the color returning to her face. Okay, I'm done for tonight. Yeah, it's too much for me. It goes back and forth through memories, a lot of memories. I don't hope the fuck they're not like that. Yeah, I can't do anymore. I'm sorry. I didn't expect it to be like that. Yeah, it is horrific. Hey, Brenda. It's sick. It's horrific. It's disgusting why they fuck would they do that. Like, I don't understand that. Like, this is really freaking bad. Anyways, I had no idea. You've read this book. There's more incidents. Oh, I'll just skip over them. I can't. So there's not much of these memories, just chapter 2. Yeah. Yeah, it's too much. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, we would be so damn compassionate. Oh, that's what you watched was the interview. Yes, you would know. Do you subscribe? Are you paying for Gaia? I'm not right now. I signed up to them. But I only got a free month because they do make you pay. But I mean, their stuff is amazing. I have to look for that interview, and then we can play it after this. Yeah, I would think if we were examining them, we seriously would never do nothing like that. Well, we can never make you think those things or make you remember memories or uh, yeah, I know. I don't know what to say. You did the free month, but you pay now. It's probably worth it then, and I would imagine, eh? Have you guys, any of you guys heard of Gaia? Here, I'm gonna show you a little clip. Just I need to get my mind off this. Hold on. Not the. How did I get an N in there? There we go. They have crystal healing too. I suppose I should share. Duh. We'll get this fucking ET off of here. No, don't be embarrassed. Not a lot of people do. It is basically um all the emotions at once. Yeah. Actually, what is it? It's a website. They talk about everything that has to do with aliens in the beginning of like there's so many different things. I'll show you. I first came across them on YouTube and I was watching all the trailers for all the different stuff. They talk about like the end of the dinosaurs and stuff like that. It's just they got some facts. It's pretty amazing. I can't even describe. So this is Gaia on YouTube. Like, look, here's an episode for 32 right now. Actually, we can watch full episode, Close Encounters with Non-Human Intelligences. Start your free trial. Shakespeare Decoded with Alan W. Green. What is this? Sacred Geometry and the Foundation of Reality. The painter transmutes alco alchemical principles into whatever. Sacred Geometry. Architects of the Sixth Dimension. Akashic Hall of Records. I have no idea what that is. CIA mind control. Supercomputers take over the human form. Evidence of secret space program. Wow. This one I wanted to check out too. Techniques to activate your pineal gland. What is the true goal of occult magic? Do we finally have scientific proof of reincarnation? Like it covers a broad spectrum of things. Is it possible to change our gene expression? These techniques facilitate a vibrant immune system. Occult wisdom traditions can expand our minds, I would imagine. Breaking the habits of the old self, creating a new self, boosting your innate immune system. What the shit is this? Unearthing Nazca. No idea. And there's a question and answer. Whistleblowers. Man receives extraterrestrial message in binary code. Researcher believes the Tic Tac UFO was what, real? I want to see that interview. Yoga on Gaia? The hell was his name again? Rob Fulner? Ron Felber. There he is. Holy, it's like almost 4 hours. It's crazy. I just wanted. What? High desert horror, alien invasion, witches and Bigfoot abduction. Oh, hell yeah, I want to see that. Woman missing from Mojave Desert. Husband believes she was taken. How long is this? Can I watch this without getting...
With the BMO World Elite Business MasterCard, you earn more on your most common business expenses.
And around the clock search right now for an Arizona missing woman who continues to be missing in the California Mojave Desert.
The former Henderson resident vanished more than 3 days ago during a hike with her husband.
Well, 13 Action News reporter Lee Pizzetti now tells you what happened
This
in the
was really
minutes
fast,
before.
sorry. Oh. When did this come out? 4 years ago.
She disappeared.
It's a desperate plea for help. A man is looking for his wife after she went missing over the weekend while hiking. Bob and Barbara Thomas frequently explore together, taking their trailer on small trips, so this weekend wasn't anything unusual. They did a short hike in the Mojave Desert and were almost back to their camper when Bob stopped to take a picture.
By the time I took the pictures, she was continuing on because she wanted to use the RV, and she rounded the corner and I lost sight of her.
That's the last time he saw her. He got back to their
Wow.
camp and there was no trace of her, so he called 911.
They had the fire trucks out there, the ambulance, the paramedics. They actually brought a dog team out later. They had the helicopter that was coming in.
Even with this massive search party, there was no sign of her anywhere. Search and rescue is still out there looking, but Bob thinks something happened when she crossed a road to get back to their camp.
My feeling is that she was picked up because she had to cross a highway. She was wearing a bikini and she had a beer in her hand.
He thinks there's a chance she was
Beer
taken
in
to
her
the
hand.
Las Vegas area, so he's asking everyone to stay on high alert.
I just want my wife back. And if somebody out there has her, which I feel somebody does, please drop her off in a safe place where she can contact us. And that's it.
This heartbroken husband looking for any answers that could lead him to his missing wife.
And we always tell each other before we go to bed at night how much we love each other.
Oh my gosh. See if there's an update.
So whoever has her, please release her. No questions asked.
That was Leah Pizzetti reporting. And at this point, authorities do not expect criminal activity and are focusing their efforts on searching that area. Now, anybody with information is asked to call the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department's Colorado River Station. Barbara Thomas is 69 years old, 5'8", and in good health.
I'm just gonna read or look at some where it actually is the Mojave Desert. You live in the Mojave Desert? Oh shit. We hike in the summer all the time. We are used to the heat. Hiking in certain areas can be dangerous if not prepared though, or if you come upon someone's property. There's a lot of trafficking near where I live. Women are taken or assaulted all the time. Crazy stuff happens here, especially near mid-highways. So you think it's possible she was abducted from the highway? I think it sounds feasible. Outside Kelso, near Kelso Dunes off Kelbaker Road. They call it Hidden Hills. Who's Sheriff Powell? I wonder if this has anything to do with the man who Sheriff Powell was fleeing from. Also went missing during a hike nearby, similar scenario in age. Both in the same month, except she was able to flee and survive after 4 days. My wife and kids explore the desert out there, and we never separate. Fuck that. Also, if they haven't already, they should contact Mojave Underground because there's a mine shaft. Camping in the Mojave Desert in the 175-degree heat. And how in the hell does he know she still had a beer in her hand? I laughed at that part too. I'm not really sure why. You found them on YouTube? Yeah, same. Don't trust ET. Hell no. The AI ones? That story is deep. I remember some stories from Seven and Sylvan Mysteries back in the day. And I would love to watch them now and see how it compares to the stories now. I would like the reincarnation. I'm not much into. Yeah, that one's cool. Oh, no worries. Yeah, it's really interesting. I really enjoy this stuff. I don't know if they ever found her. Gonna keep looking. Really? You guys got some great, 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 great theories. Yeah, he's definitely devastated. Yes, I watched Charlotte. Yep. I watched her today. Popped in, say hi. Oh, I would imagine she could have got lost too. I'm just gonna see if they say anything about her. I don't believe he's lying. This is all 4 years ago. Okay, I'm gonna go for the newest. Oops. Three months ago. Maybe it was eaten by a humanoid creature in the cave because in the desert there are monsters that come in at night. Well, it is a woman, not an it, you jerk. Was she ever found? Was she found? The guy is sus. No, he's not. Any update on this case? Aliens, aliens, aliens. Higher beings. He killed her. Back in the 80s, I saw a boa constrictor in that desert look for snakes. What? This one says they found her body in Essex, husband failed polygraph. I want more evidence of that. It was 2 years ago. I'm thinking maybe Sasquatch took her. Or the giant worms from the film Tremors. Stop. Is that the same one? Yeah, he's got a lot of comments here. I don't believe anything he's saying. He doesn't sound like Chris Watts, you dick. Man, I'm gonna ask them, see if they can give me an update. Well, never mind. They don't answer these news channels. Is there anything else about it? Ew. Um, I thought you were talking about. I love it. Unsolved Mysteries is on YouTube. Sorry. How? That little It's making me angry how she keeps getting on these lives. It needs to be reported. I don't care. She's not supposed to be on YouTube at all. Yeah, I guarantee it will be crazy. Really? See, I don't think they're all because of the disease. Yeah, that situation was crazy. You're getting a storm. I don't know. I would encourage you guys to report her ass because she's not supposed to have a channel. What I don't even know what her channel would be called or what is it even under. Not that I want to watch, I just want to report it because she's not supposed to be on at all. She's ban evading. It's pissing me off how she's still able to use that mouth of hers. Like, and then that idiot Ski, he did get his channels back. Yeah, YouTube is being a dink. Oh, I spoke to them and they ended up writing back and they're saying that how people aren't getting notifications and you're losing subs and blah blah blah. It's something to do with YouTube. They're working on the problem. So I don't know how long it's going to take. But Brenda, I was unsubscribed from you, and I would never do that. And it was because um YouTube, they need to work on they, I don't know, they need to fix it somehow. But they did at least let me know. Check your if you haven't already, Brenda, check your oh my God, YouTube Studio in the what the hell is it called? I can't I'm sorry, I can't even think. The dashboard. Jeez. And it will tell you, like mine says. Oh, and apparently also they're going to be doing or giving more putting more ads, which I guess they're already doing. Like when you're live, they're putting ads while you're live, because that happened to me a couple times. Yeah, you lose 3 and get 1. Yeah. Yeah. Being a creator is kind of, I love being one. There's times though when you get people, um, just some jerks, they love to start shit, and it's hard dealing with it. It's been pretty good for me though for a while. I mean, I've had my share of crap happen to me, and Brenda has, Charlotte has, we all have. It's just YouTube bullies or idiots. For 2 days, every comment I posted got deleted across any chat. Yeah, so did another one of my moderators. I'm just like, what the hell? I was getting it was getting to the point where I wasn't even allowed to make comments. They kept saying to protect YouTube, I can't make comments. I'm like, what the hell? I'm a creator. I'm not doing anything wrong. And I don't say anything wrong, so I don't know what I did. But I made 3 comments, and it was on wasn't even on like anything you guys would know. It was a police video where this poor guy got shot, and I was furious. And I'm like, there's no reason why to do that. No, the money's not good at all. Unless you got like 1 million subs. Yeah. That's awesome, Victoria. Thank you. But yeah, they kept saying, you can't comment for 24 hours. I'm like, what the hell did I do? And well, if you, I would never say anything wrong or bad. It was crazy. Same, am. It's YouTube. Like they're timing my ass out for 24 hours. And I can't even, it's like, why? What did I do? I hope you do. Oh, I watched your video today. So you are getting that book, right? You're gonna read it? Ginger's book. I can't wait because I've been wanting to watch. I've been wanting to read it, so I'm glad that you decided to. And I can watch it on your channel. So if you guys are interested. Yeah. Oh, you did order it today? Yeah, it's like Facebook jail. I can't comment for 24 hours. Like, really? Like, I just can't comment on other people's not live streams, but their videos. I can't comment on other people's videos. I can comment on my stuff and live streams, but that's it. That'd be good. I can't wait to well, for you to read it. I want to know. Well, obviously from your point of view and the truth, not KJ's truth, because something tells me she's going to try reading it or talk about it and bullshit it, and it's just going to make me angry. I ordered another book. It's coming Monday, so I'm going to start on Wednesday reading that book, and it's about Herb Baumeister. And it's also about not only it's more about the paranormal aspect of it, which is amazing. That's why I love that topic. There's a lot of spirits involved. I mean, he obviously was a horrible serial killer of gay men. He did some shit. But there's also the paranormal aspect of it. Like these people are still suffering. It's horrible. It is weird. Oh, that's not bad. Holy, so you got it for free? Amazon had it on for 20. I applied for a credit card and got a $60. Is it what is I'm assuming you get some perks with this Amazon credit card, right? I've read some of it, but I was thinking maybe I should do the same. I already have a credit card though. Wait, what are we talking about? Oh, I was talking about the book I ordered. Yeah, I'll show you. I didn't know Down the Rabbit Hole did this. Oh wait, that's the bad one, not the good one. Never mind. I just want a quick sneak peek here. This is 20 minutes long.
At 6, we're getting a new look at the Westfield farm where police discovered dozens of remains from young men back in 1996.
Yeah, take a look here. Drone Cam 13 captured the latest images of Fox Hollow Farm this afternoon, 26 years after the gruesome discovery there. And it comes just 24 hours away after a renewed push to identify the rest of the unknown victims.
Tonight, our John Duran is taking us step by step through the significant locations on this infamous property.
You'll see this ravine.
26 years later,
This goes back to Cool Creek.
the memories are still fresh.
This is the area where most of the intact bones were found.
It's history Robert Graves lives with.
When we first got here, we decided that we were going to try to put all this behind us, but you can't get away from it. It's always that place.
He moved into the Fox Hollow Farm 15 years ago, but in 1996, it was the home of Herb Baumeister, who allegedly killed dozens of men and left their remains on the property.
This is where it happened.
Remains Graves still uncovers to this day.
So we don't go looking for them, but they do turn up.
Oh my
and I
God.
take them to the University of Indianapolis.
We will have to conduct a very large-scale investigation in which DNA profiling is attempted on all of those samples because we have an open population. So we are unsure exactly how many people are represented.
Forensic teams from the University of Indianapolis were searching these woods for weeks back in 1996 behind the home of then owner Herb Baumeister. And they're excited there's a renewed interest in trying to find the identities of the remaining victims.
We do have an estimated 10,000 samples that need to be addressed here.
They need the victims'
Holy
family
shit.
members to come forward.
We have more unidentified human remains cases in the state of Indiana than we have family reference samples. So that means in general, not just from 26 years ago.
I think it's a good thing. There's certainly a lot of families that don't have answers.
And they're hoping these new efforts produce just that. In Hamilton County, John Duran, 13 News.
Tonight at 6.
He was just like Jeffrey Dahmer, only he didn't cannibalize them. But after I do, nah, you got more subscribers than I do. You definitely do, and you deserve it. I actually read the book about Charles Manson, and I had one of the survivor's daughters on my channel. If you're interested, there's a whole playlist on my Charles Manson, the book I read. Why haven't you heard of this guy? Oh my God, I've just been obsessed with it. Yeah, that one's good too. What? When I went to work for AT&T, I was right after Jeffrey Dahmer was caught my first day on the job. Guess who I made an outbound call to and got his answer machine? I quit that day. I would too. Yeah, Victoria. Oh, you did watch them all? Thank you. Sounds like the Toronto guy. Is that the guy that, yeah, with the gay, he put them in his plants, body parts in his plants. Yeah. And they were all Middle Eastern and they were all gay. That was that was the our latest serial killer. He's caught behind bars. I don't know who's active right now. I haven't checked actually. the the paranormal aspect of this though is what I'm interested in. I don't know, maybe there'll be a small thing here. Look at there's Gaia right there. Always that's how I always know about it. They're always saying something. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of documentaries on here, guys. It's pretty good. Is that an hour? Okay, here we go. This one's 3 minutes long. I'll speed it up a bit just so I don't get it like a strike or anything.
Fox Hollow Farm is an 18-acre estate in Westfield, Indiana, just north of Indianapolis. The two-door style home was built in 1979 and features 5 bedrooms and an indoor swimming pool. It is most famous for being the home of suspected serial killer Herb Baumeister. The owner gave us a tour of the home and stated that he had not had any experiences in the home in the 10 years he has resided there. He stated that some of the evidence we may have seen on TV or read on the internet was staged. He allows investigators into his home 5 times a year simply because people are curious. He pointed out areas where others have claimed to have caught EVPs or seen apparitions. He also pointed out the areas on the property.
It is definitely many, many EVPs. There's photos, there's everything in this house and around this house and even in the apartment that's on that property. There's so much stuff. It's definitely haunted.
Where bodies were apparently burned and disposed of. He allowed us access to all areas of the home and grounds. We conducted EVP sessions in nearly every room of the home and in the areas on the grounds where bones were discovered. No EVPs were captured. We did have some K2 activity on the side of the 5-car garage where bones were discovered under a compost pile. It appeared that something was communicating with us as the K2 lit up in response to questions we asked. That activity was not caught on camera. We also had some K2 activity in the woods where the so-called burn pit was located. It was fairly steady, but did not seem to be in response to any questions. While no apparent electrical lines or other indication of possible interference was noted, it was just too random to be classified as paranormal.
It's peg and red. So there is something here. There's something here.
Talk into this device in my right hand. Let us know that you're with us. Let us know your name if you can.
Move the K2 kind of around to see if it's.
I got mine too.
Into the red right now, but it's not back there. Right there, it's starting to peg to the red. So what in the world is here?
Unfortunately, our investigation did not confirm any of the claims of paranormal activity that has been reported. Instead, our visit to Fox Hollow Farm.
Well, that was stupid. Anyways, there's a lot of evidence, I promise. Yeah, I agree. It's gonna cause you nightmares. Yeah, that's very true. Yep. So do I, Victoria. Yeah, me too. You never heard of this? Herb Baumeister. Yeah. And I've just been fascinated with it. I really, really, really do like the paranormal aspect of it. If you guys, I don't know what channel it's on, but it's called Paranormal Witness. They actually have an episode on the Fox Hollow Farm, and that's how I got hooked on it, was from that show. Do it, do it, do it. You should go live and I'll be with you the whole time. I guess in spirit while you're on your phone. I'll be on mine. Maybe even just go during the day. I wouldn't go at night, not by yourself. I even got my where the hell is it? Probably in the kitchen. Yeah, so I got this. My EMF detector. Yeah, this is the next book I plan on reading. It's all about the paranormal aspect of it. Yeah. All the investigations, all the people that have stayed there or have had experiences, like the guy that stayed in the apartment that was on that property. How can we save her if we just watch? Shut up! I'm trying to get her to go none. Yeah, it's got all the paranormal aspect about it, so I think it'd be really cool. Good point. Nah, that's why I'm saying go during the day and don't go in it. I wouldn't. I'd wait unless you have someone with you. I wouldn't go it alone. I would just take pictures at the outside. Or if you can go close up without going in and just kind of click through the windows or something. I want to go into the graveyard again. I finally got one of those handheld things so that I could put my phone on it, and so that way I'm not going like this the whole time. It doesn't look like shitty frat. Wow, how the hell did I do that? Apparently, when you shake your phone, your flashlight comes on. That's cool. I did not know that. Seriously? It does too. That's fucking cool. Well, good to know. You're checking it's a huge place? Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, I'm just saying, if people go at night, they're nuts. Who would do that? Yes, the Foxhole Farm. That's what I'm reading, and I think vaguely, Victoria. I think vaguely we'll discuss. There was a lot of gay men that he had killed. Yeah, he had this weird fascination with mannequins, and he would keep them like dressed up or naked all by the pool, the in-ground or the indoor pool in the basement. It was weird. He really liked to you found it? Okay. He really liked to what the hell is it called? Erotica asphyxiation. So he would like to do this with whatever he could, whether it be a hose or his hands, and they would agree to it. But thing is, that he killed them that way. He was trying to tell them that it would feel good. It was sexual. It would be great, and instead he would kill them that way. They really thought that because he would allow them to try it on him first, and then when he did it to them, his plan was to kill them. Oh, that's creepy. Yeah, it's a good read. It's a good read. I know it's in Indiana and it has nothing to do with Canada or Ontario or anything like that, but I've always been fascinated. So that show, Paranormal Witness, it has an episode called Foxhole Farm on it. It's really, really good. It shows and tells you everything about what happened. It's really good. Wonder if I can show you this will be better. Hold on. I just want the trailer. Damn it. Oh, not nightmare. Damn, witness, 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 witness. Is this it?
The first thing I'd seen in the woods with the red shirt, the dog took right after it.
The serial killer is extremely intelligent.
Is it safe for us to be down here in the pool area?
No.
Have you seen anything? Sometimes things that are out in the open are more
Okay, I watched this. It's good.
invisible than things hidden.
It's on
Should
YouTube.
we stay down here or should we leave?
Well, I haven't, but my wife has.
Is that you, Herb?
I had an informant that made contact with me that said that he had been with somebody and had taken him to a house on the north side.
This is what I'm going to tell you what he's showing me.
He's sitting up here and he's touching the window with his right hand.
I think they're really worried about us being down here.
Burn pile where he was burning bodies was in this area.
I could be a serial killer. You could be a serial killer. Yet they appear to be perfectly normal.
My palm is bright red.
want to talk to that man wearing the red shirt.
And somebody
Yeah,
opened
he's
his
seen a lot. There's a gentleman with a red shirt. He's dead, and usually when you see him, you see the red shirt mainly, and he's got no legs. So that's a famous in the woods. You'll always see him.
getting pulled back into the water
It was a deep voice.
over and over. It's like a clip, like a residual.
Some strange things that happened to him at the house.
I saw that and I thought, no, it's just my mind playing tricks on me.
Right there.
You're here with us. Step into the green light.
Okay, so there's that. That is definitely on here. I don't know why they won't show me trailer for the other thing. This works? No way. Okay, I was gonna say. This is it right here. The Haunting of Fox Hollow Farm, 2011. Some of these I've seen, some of them I haven't. There he is, that son of a bitch. Herbert the Pervert Baumeister. That's creepy. That is creepy. Yeah, it freaked me out. Really? I've always been a chicken. When I was around 5, I would see people. Oh, shoot. We went to my grandparents' old home place. The neighbor was killed by her husband. They said it was haunted. I stole a rock from the. Oh, wow. My daddy made me take it back. Yeah, I'm glad you did. Probably wasn't a good thing. There he is, that bastard. All right, you guys. I hope you have a great night. I'm gonna get off here now. Starting to get a hungry on. Nah, munchy. I've got some homemade Rice Krispie squares that are calling my name. Okay. But that book I'm getting on Monday, I'm gonna read it on Wednesday. Seeing how I'm done the oh my god, I can't think tonight. The Breaking Free by Rachel Jeffs. I'm done that book. I finished it yesterday, so I'm gonna replace that with the Herb Monster case. But I hope you guys have a great night. I'm sure I'll be back tomorrow with either a live or some videos of KJ because she doesn't stop. Yeah, you guys have a great night. Bye.